All right.
You are now listening to the Lineman Lounge.
Aren't you tired of the same old podcast? Aren't you tired of the same old thing? Don't you want to switch it up a little bit? Listen up, cause I'm about to blow your brain. Like to see you kick back at your feet. Listen to the Lineman Lounge. Get down at your crib and get mad at your own corner. Listen to the Lineman Lounge. To the NFL, got MLB, got NBA, and some USC. Got college sports, we talk fans.
All right, what's going on, everybody? This is the Lineman Lounge coming to you live from the heart of Texas. That is where I am at. I am on vacation. We are out here to see the Indians game, hence the cowboy hat. I am in the heart of Texas, Dallas, Fort Worth. But I am not a cowboy, so I just wanted to give a little shout out to the people here in Texas. We're going to fucking switch that out, though, because it is just too.
I like it. I would have left it on.
Damn hot. I am outside. We are at a friend's house right now. The beautiful Ramsey and my best friend of nearly 20 years, Garrett Keys. We are at their house, their beautiful place. They've kind of welcomed us in. Our kids are a disaster, but man, we're so excited to be down here. This is one of the last opportunities that we're going to have to see the Cleveland Indians play baseball. Obviously, you guys have heard Cleveland Indians are going to become the Guardians. I don't hate the name, hate the fucking logo, but it was nice to get one last chance to see them. For me, this will be my son and my wife's last chance. The girls' only chance to see the Indians play. They probably won't remember it, but we're going to try to get as many pictures as possible. They will have been able to see the Cleveland Indians play once, and then they'll grow up being Guardians fans, because if they're not, I'll disown them.
Yeah, and I'm Evo. I'm still back here in Arizona. I'm not on vacation. I'm operating out of one of the Hangar 6 annexes, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, we had to push the show back a little bit. I was at my flag football game. It ran a little bit longer. They had award ceremony going on, so it took a little bit longer than expected. But we're here now. We're live. Hopefully, we don't have any crazy technical difficulties, because this is the first time that we're trying to stream off of this current platform. So we got a couple little upgrades with it. You know, you can see names and stuff like that. A little ticker bar. So, you know, onwards and upwards. That's the motto right now.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we've told the fans on several occasions, like, any time that we can find a way to make the show better, improve it, whether it's visually, technically, just, you know, getting feedback and seeing what they like. I mean, there's a reason that we do these picks, and, you know, we keep track of these picks, is because people want that information. They want to see how we're doing. So any way that we can improve the show, we're going to try to do it. I really like this program we got. We get to put in our own names there. We get the ticker at the bottom. We're going to have some lines going at the bottom later on in the show for you guys. But, man, it is a beautiful day down here in Texas. I've got my beer cracked already. Had some mimosas at brunch this morning. So, man, when I vacation as hard as possible, because anytime I can be away from any hangar 1 through 5, I'm going to enjoy it, which is why I like hangar 6 so much. And then Texas right now is absolutely beautiful. But we wanted to start the show today with some MLB stuff, right? That's the reason that I'm down in Texas.
Absolutely.
I had to get some notes together. Don't have my normal setup. I do have the tablet. Got a game over here. You guys can't see it because I don't like copyright strikes. Those are never fun. But we're going to kind of dive right into Major League Baseball. Then we'll get into some college and then the NFL. So Major League Baseball playoffs are set for the NL side. We got Atlanta, Milwaukee, St. Louis, San Francisco, and the Dodgers all making the playoffs on the NL side. Came down to the last couple of days. Now, all the spots are not decided yet. We got San Francisco and the Dodgers still fighting to figure out who's going to win that NL West division. Whoever doesn't win is going to end up playing the St. Louis Cardinals, who just coming off of, I want to say, a 17-game win streak, hottest team in baseball. I don't know if anybody wants to run into them in the wild card game, one single playoff game, to see if you can move on. That's going to be very tough. And then out in the AL, So we got Tampa Bay, they're in. We got the Chicago White Sox, they're in. And then we got Houston, they're in. But there are still 4 teams fighting for these last 2 spots. We got the Yankees, Boston, Toronto, and a surprise team in Seattle making a late season push trying to get in. Yankees right now are in the catbird seat. They're 2 games up. They look like they are going to clinch with a win tonight or a loss by Boston. They are absolutely getting in. What's up, Facebook user? Boston has a 1-game lead on that second spot, but Toronto and Seattle are both fighting. I think it would be crazy if Toronto doesn't make it, considering the season they've had. We're looking at both of the primary candidates for the AL MVP not making the playoffs. Shohei and the Angels, they're eliminated. Toronto is on the brink of elimination, trying to fight in with Vlad Guerrero Jr., and those 2 guys are amazing. Vlad Guerrero Jr. probably won't win the MVP, even though in any other year he would, but it's Shohei's award to win this year. His stats are outrageous. I got some of them written down here. So on the year, he's got 45 home runs. He's scored 101 runs, 99 RBIs. He's definitely looking to get that 100th RBI. And he's got 26 steals. That's a great year by any hitter, but Shohei's the greatest baseball player ever. So, and he also pitches. He's got 9 wins with a 3.18 ERA. He's pitched 130 innings and has 156 strikeouts in those innings. Averaging over a strikeout per inning. The guy is otherworldly. He's not going to improve on any of those pitching stats, though, because he has been shut down for the year. Not going to pitch, going to continue to hit. But Major League Baseball is starting to get ready for that postseason. I'm amped. I hope the Indians can win these last 2 games against the Rangers. One, because I'm going to fucking be there tonight, and I want to see a win. But if they can win both these last 2 games, they finish the year 500 and avoid that losing season. And they're playing the Rangers, who already have over 100 losses. Not the way you want to finish, by losing to a team and then, ended up under 500. So
that Indians Rangers game, that's 4:05 Mountain Time. What time is it there for you?
Yeah, 6:05. So we are 2 hours ahead here in Texas. Arizona is 2 hours behind where I'm at because Arizona doesn't do fucking daylight savings, which I appreciate while I'm in Arizona, but when I leave, it kind of creates confusion on what the hell the time zone I'm in. But yeah, so 6:05 for us. So we got 5.5 hours before the game starts. We're going to try to get there early, maybe watch some BP, try to get the kids some autographs. But we'll see, man. I'm very excited.
Yeah, last time I went to a baseball game was Twins versus the Rangers. I made the drive, just left work a bit early and drove straight through off to Texas and got to watch a couple games, I believe, Twins and Rangers. So that was a lot of fun, man. It's been years. It's been 2013, maybe 14 since I've seen a live baseball game. So it's always a lot of fun.
Yeah, and baseball is one of those sports where a lot of people don't like watching it on TV. I understand if you're not a big baseball guy, if you don't really get the nuances of baseball, it can be tough watching it on TV. But sitting in a ballpark, I don't know if there's hockey is probably a better experience.
Hockey's an awesome experience. I mean, I always love football, but that's because I rarely get to go to live football games, so I'm fucking jazzed whenever I get to go. Hockey is nonstop action, even if you're not tracking those teams. Baseball is like it is a longer game, and it's more of the experience overall. Just the hot dogs, the beers, the fans, people doing the wave, all that sort of shit. It's a lot of fun going to those games.
Yeah, now I wish those fucking beers didn't cost me $8.50 a pop.
That's true.
But I'm still going to drink some of those beers. I got beer cracked already. One of the best things about Texas is they have Yingling here. So for anybody watching or anybody who commented on my post on Facebook, yes, I'm going to bring plenty of Yingling back. At a minimum, it'll be 5 cases. It might be a little bit more, but there's going to be some Yingling. I'm not necessarily handing it out to everybody.
They might as well just hit you up and start Venmoing you some cash.
Yeah, if you guys want to Venmo me, if you Venmo me some cash,
right now I think the orders that are put in for you are like 2 truckloads or something like that. So
everybody loves Yingling.
we like doing the podcast, but this is a free thing right now. We're not getting
Yeah,
any money
exactly. Well,
for
I'm
it.
not getting paid.
So,
I'm not getting paid,
so
guys.
Daddy need to get a little bit of money to bring
Hey,
back
and
some of that beer.
and I don't know if anybody from Yingling is listening, but I'm definitely okay with an alcohol sponsor. This is not necessarily the most kid-friendly show with all the f-bombs we drop. So yeah, if you want to sponsor us, Yingling, we will take your money, and I will drink the shit out of your beer.
Yep. All right.
All
So
right, so
MLB.
no, that's it for me on MLB. Playoffs getting ready to ramp up, but we can kind of transition into what most everybody is here for, and that's football.
Absolutely.
So we'll go college football, and then we'll kind of transition over into the NFL. College football is a big weekend, especially for the SEC. There are some big marquee matchups going on. We got Arkansas versus Georgia. Georgia is beating the piss out of Arkansas right now. They're up 21-0 last time I saw. I think ESPN actually switched the game because it's so bad right now.
24-0 Georgia over Arkansas.
Yeah, and it's not even halftime yet.
It is halftime right now.
Oh, it is now?
Yeah.
Oh, so maybe that's why we got the switch over there.
It's
But
one of
I
the
mean,
beauties
Georgia.
of doing this format is that I've got this second monitor here that I can be managing everything, which also, just to throw that out, I'm looking around because I've got other monitors going and I'm trying to manage tickers and comments and all this stuff. So we appreciate everyone popping in, commenting and stuff like that. We got another comment right here.
Yeah, Cooper's new
apparently,
one just for us.
yeah, talking about that Yingling, I think.
I guarantee that's what they're talking about. That Yingling. We'll see. We'll see. I could probably hook it up, Lacey.
Awesome. All right, but yeah, so if we run into some technical difficulties, or if I'm spacing out on something, it's because I'm trying to produce this thing while working.
Yeah.
So
hey, look, this is not a professionally produced show, but I feel like for a couple of amateurs, we do a pretty damn good job. You can't expect much more from the thickest podcast in sports media. We do what we can. I mean, I got plenty of room out here in wide open Texas. This chair is not bad. Man, I got TV. I got the tablet up. I got the notes, and I'm doing all this shit on my phone. So I really hope there's no technical difficulties. Keep an eye on the battery. We know how fucking battery issues have plagued the Lineman Lounge in the past, but that shouldn't be a problem going forward either. We got the new camera in.
I'll end up having to go solo if I need to.
I mean, I think you could do it.
Why am I showing up as a Facebook user? Apparently, you're not paying for Facebook Premium.
Yeah, I'm not sure who Facebook user is. Next time you ask the question, though, you should insert your name so we can answer you.
Yeah, that'd be dope.
No, yeah, but it's a huge day. Arkansas, Georgia's doing exactly what Georgia's supposed to do. Georgia might be the best team in the country. Now, Alabama has looked very good in the games that they've played, but they haven't played a lot of people. Now, early in the season, I thought Miami would maybe stick close, but Miami is having a very, very tough year. They're 2-3. They dropped a game to Virginia on Thursday night. They were in position to kick the game-winning field goal. They miss from, 30 yards out. They lost De'Aaron King and De'Aaron King's backup, so they get a freshman playing quarterback. It was a very tough game for Miami. Virginia comes out with a win, but that might be the best team that Alabama has played. Georgia is very dominant. Their defense is outstanding. I've been able to catch some of that this morning. Arkansas is a team that has been able to run over whoever the fuck they have wanted to run over, and that is absolutely not happening against Georgia. They have so many athletes. Elsewhere in the SEC, Ole Miss takes on. Hey, what's up, Byron? Hey, thanks for tuning in, man.
Facebook user.
Yeah, Facebook user. All right. Hey, that's my father-in-law. What's up, Spank? Love you guys. So we got Ole Miss and Bama. Now, this is a test for Alabama. Finally, they had a close game against Florida, and it was a lot because the Florida has a guy in Emory Jones who can run the ball, can do the read option. I don't know a lot about Ole Miss, but I don't think that Ole Miss has a guy that necessarily escapes the pocket. But Ole Miss is a good team. They're ranked 12 in the country. They play in the SEC, so they got a ton of athletes. We'll see how Alabama shows out today. That Georgia-Alabama game in the SEC championship is going to be insane. I still think Texas A&M can knock off Bama earlier in the year. I'm going to stand by that fucking pick. I called my shot, and I'm not going to back down on it. We just had a question: Tennessee and Missouri. What's going on with Missouri? I don't fucking know because Missouri should be winning this game. It's kind of pissing me off. I have a bet on that game, and Tennessee is absolutely taking it to them right now. SEC football is a wild place. You can almost guarantee every week Alabama and Georgia are going to go out and do what they're supposed to do and win their fucking game. But for the rest of the teams below that, I don't know who those teams are. I don't know how good they are because they don't recruit like those top teams in the SEC do. I mean, Tennessee has not looked great, but now they're smacking a Missouri team that has looked good at times, terrible at others. I don't know. I hope Missouri comes back and especially covers there. That'd be super fucking cool for me. But we also got out in the Big 12, Baylor, Oklahoma State, 21 versus 19 matchup. Big 12 is kind of having a down year. Oklahoma has not looked great. Spencer Rattler got booed by the fans in Oklahoma. And this was a guy who was supposed to be a Heisman candidate, potential number
one overall pick, and he's already getting booed. That's rough.
That is not great. I mean, so obviously Oklahoma had a stud when they had Baker Mayfield. They move on. They move on to a Kyler Murray. So another guy who's an absolute stud, potential MVP in the NFL. They go to Jalen Hurts, who did a great job for Oklahoma. At one point won a national championship with Bama. And now they're on to Spencer Rattler. They think a guy who should just be, they just pass the torch on to him. And he has not lived up to his top recruit ranking. He has not played well. He's not looking like a number one pick. It's definitely not number one overall, unless you're literally just drafting based on traits, the height, weight, arm talent kind of stuff. But if you watch him play, his ability to read the field has just not been there. But that kind of takes me to the last game that I wanted to talk about in your guy. So we got Cincinnati, Notre Dame, 7 versus 9, and Desmond Ritter. How do you think he's going to show up today? I know you've been kind of watching him and keeping an eye on him.
So I like him. I do. I'm not sold on him being, that NFL-style quarterback yet. I don't like the offense that he's in there with Cincinnati.
Right. We've talked about that.
The wild card here is that we don't think Notre Dame's that good.
No, we don't. I don't think Notre Dame's that good, but they showed up last week.
They did. Now, this would be a great game for Ritter to really show his talents on the national stage because this is a big game. So I would love to see him torch Notre Dame, show the Golden Domers what's up in their home stadium. But we'll see. I'm a little apprehensive about the game and seeing how he's going to do, just because it seems like even from last year how he was playing, like the offense is neutering him and his abilities a little bit, not allowing him to be as dynamic as he could be or should be.
Yeah, I mean, and his coach Luke Fickell was on with Pat McAfee. I sent you the video. High praise for Ritter, and kind of the things that he's done to help propel Cincinnati into that national spotlight. Now, I agree that offense not necessarily conducive to all the things that I think he can do. I have Cincinnati beating Notre Dame because I'm still not high on Notre Dame. I'm not picking I don't know if I'm picking Notre Dame against any ranked team at this point, even though they proved me wrong last week. I think more times than not, picking against them in a ranked game, I'm probably going to come out ahead on that. But Ritter, he needs to play up to that potential and kind of that phrase that his coach is giving him. This is the guy who has been looked at for a while as, having potential. I don't know if he's first round conversation, but he's definitely second round.
He
maybe
would need
third
to
round.
have a good, rest of the season really to be considered first round, in my opinion. The offense, like you're saying, neutering him a little bit. They've got Jerome Ford. Jerome Ford's looking awesome at running back, and that offense ends up being a lot more heavy running. And if they're, only getting a couple yards on those first, second down, and it's going to the passing game, they don't have as great of receiving talent. And Ritter's issues are accuracy. It's
Yeah.
accuracy. So if he's not getting guys that are well open, it's dropping his potential quite a bit because you don't have the contested catch guys like you do on other teams. If
Right.
he had contested catch guys or guys that are able to make those really good acrobatic catches, his stats are going to skyrocket. He's going to look way better than how he's performing. Now, there's
Right.
still time for him to get it locked down and start to work on those accuracy issues, and he's got to use his legs more. Um, he's a true dual threat type of guy, and he doesn't get the opportunity to use his legs as much because they aren't passing as much. So
Well,
I don't know.
that Cincinnati team is going to want to run the ball and play defense. Luke Fickell is a defensive coach. He was a defensive coordinator at Ohio State. Spent 1 year as the interim head coach when we were making that transition over to Urban Meyer after the sanctions. So I think with a little extra coaching on the offensive side of the ball, he can absolutely develop into that guy. And we talked about it before. Like Josh Allen was a guy who was not very accurate, and that has consistently improved through his time in the NFL. So I think Ritter can be that guy, and especially with a dual threat guy, you want him to use his legs. We actually kind of saw this storyline play out on the next level on Thursday night, where the Jags looked like a pretty decent team on Thursday, but what we saw was a lot more of the RPO and read option stuff with Trevor Lawrence, things that he did in college, that they finally started to incorporate a little more. And you heard the announcers talking about it. Hey, this guy needs to use his legs. We want it. He's talked about, I want to use my legs more because that opens up his game. So if Cincinnati can find a way to do that with Desmond Ritter, that opens up that offense so much more, and they should be able to, kind of take hopefully that next step. This year, it's only going to be the 4 teams in the playoffs. There's not going to be 8 this year. I don't think they have enough time to make that fucking work. So if they want to go from 7 and get into that top 4 conversation, they're going to have to beat Notre Dame, and they've got to improve that offense with Ritter to be consistent week in and week out and actually be able to put up points.
Yep, absolutely. RPO would be fantastic for Ritter. I would love to see them roll that out for him because he actually, for his accuracy issues, he still is able to throw on the run pretty well. He's able to elude those defenders. He needs a little bit better awareness of his backside and or the blind side coming after him. But that's where his talent really lies right now. The comparison there to Josh Allen a little bit and their accuracy, I would say that his accuracy might be a little bit worse than Josh Allen's was. I didn't like Josh Allen's because of his accuracy issues, primarily coming in the NFL. But that was with less in-season kind of film study watching him go. So I was only seeing more of the highlight reel type stuff or his YouTube cut-ups for Josh Allen. Whereas Ritter, I'm actually taking the time to pay attention and watch a little bit more what's going on there for him.
Yeah, I
And
mean,
then,
go
like you're
ahead.
talking about Trevor Lawrence and the Thursday night game, he is still surprising how sneaky fast he is for, as tall and lanky as he is and everything.
Yeah, he's fucking
That's
6'6", almost 6'7", and he moves very well for a guy that big.
absolutely.
So, yeah, I'd like to see Cincinnati, compete. I think they may have a better chance competing right now than Ohio State. So getting a team from Ohio into that playoff, especially one of those not major 4 conferences that we've seen. Now, Oregon has the chance to kind of break that up. The ACC is fucking not getting in. There is not a team that deserves to be in that playoff. Big Ten, maybe we can get an Ohio State in, but the Pac-12 has Oregon. They've looked good. It looks like 2 teams from the SEC should be in Alabama and Georgia. But really, right now, I only think of 3 teams, and that's Alabama, Georgia, and Oregon. So where does that other team come from? I don't know about the Big 12. I don't know if Oklahoma can get it done with Spencer Rattler. I'm not sure if Ohio State gets it done. They will have a boost because they are Ohio State. They are a major brand. getting them into the playoff. But seeing a group of 5 school get into the playoff the year before they actually go up to the 18 playoff, I think would be really cool and set up in recruiting, because people could go anywhere now, especially with an 18 playoff, and you could get in. You have your chance. If you make that fucking playoff, you have a chance. It does not matter if you're the 1 or the 8 seed.
Absolutely. So
And
who's the starting quarterback for Ohio State against Rutgers today?
I think we are back. That's not McCord. Stroud. I think we are back to Stroud, but it could be McCord again. I have not seen any official reports on who it's going to be. Now, obviously, we've been traveling the last couple of days. Got here last night. Got a little drunk with my big guy G Balls over here, who just brought me the cigar and a glass with some ice, so I can pour myself a whiskey in a minute.
I'm a little bit jealous of you there.
Yeah. So Garrett Keys knows how to treat a guest. That is for a goddamn sure. I love this guy. One of my best friends for 20 years.
So
And
who's handsome? Is it me? I want to be handsome.
I mean, I feel like that is across the board. We're both handsome. I mean, you can't be the thickest podcast in sports media and not be handsome as fuck. So, but so ACC's not getting in. So this is my chance to take one more shot at fucking Dabo Sweeney, because they suck. Dabo, at the beginning of the year, said, who gives a shit about an 18 playoff? We get in with 4. Well, Clemson ain't fucking ranked, and they're 2-2. And I got Boston College at least covering the spread today. Boston College 4-0. And Clemson is not covering 15.5. They have not looked very good. So that'll kind of roll into my parlay, my college picks.
Oh, and just like that, we lose Mike. Don't worry, everybody. I'll get him back in here. But for college football, that's kind of Mike's lane. I'm just getting done with that flag football game today, so I wasn't aware of anything that was going on in college football, and I told Mike from the get-go, hey, man, you're going to have to carry me because I have no fucking clue what's going on. All right, I'm going to shoot Mike off the link to rejoin. All right, sent that off to him. But anyways, so he's coming back. All right. But the schedule for us today is that we're going to finish up here with college football and some more of Mike's picks, and then go over his NCAA football picks, and then we're going to end up heading over to NFL football for all y'all that are waiting for that. Oh, there she is.
All right, hey, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, you might be coming through your phone now, though.
Oh, I think Evo needs to add me. Hey, can you guys hear me now?
Can you hear me?
Oh, hang on, guys.
All right. Yeah, so not without technical difficulties, but we're working through it.
I didn't shit right.
Hey, there's our boy David Weideman. $20 is $20. The Vanilla Gorilla himself. Check out David Weideman. $20 is $20
I have the perfect
on
thing for you. Sous vide. It's
Twitch.
foolproof.
Why are we getting that audio?
All right. Hey, can you guys hear me?
Hey, we got you, man.
All right. So I cannot hear you guys coming through the headphones anymore. So this is going to be a little difficult, a little different. But I can hear you through the phone. I'm not sure why it's being this way, but we talked about it at the start. We may have some little snafus with the media. This is our first time going live. I'm obviously on location in Texas. I'm going to try to figure out how to get the earphones back in. Sorry, I got cut off. What did you pick up on after I got cut off there, man?
Oh, I didn't really. I basically just went over the schedule and how we're going to be running the rest of the show, and told them all that I'm basically not tracking what's going on today in college football because I've been a little bit busy with the flag this morning.
Yeah, you have had a busy day with flag. And, I have been kind of trying to keep up as much as possible. Now, I was saying that Clemson sucks and that Boston College should absolutely cover. I got them covering 15.5. I got Ohio State minus 14.5 against Rutgers. We play the Scarlet Knights, and I think it's interesting that Ohio State has decided to wear all scarlet uniforms. I'm not sure if that was a dig at Rutgers, and if we're taking shots at Rutgers, I think we're way behind the 8 ball on how good we are. I got Michigan plus 1.5, Minnesota plus 2.5, and then I had Iowa beating Maryland minus 3.5, and they covered that 51-14 against Maryland.
Awesome. So are those all your picks that you got for NCAA football?
Those are all of the picks that I have for the NCAA football.
All righty. Well, if you're ready, we can move on to the big show.
I think that I am ready to head into the world of the NFL. Are you guys still hearing me normally like you were before?
Yes, sir.
All right, perfect. The thing is, the mic's still working, but the headphones are not wanting to cooperate. So I'll just listen to you on the phone. All right, let's get it started, man.
All righty, cool. So we're going to start off talking a little bit about our game on Thursday night, right? So we already kind of mentioned a little bit what happened. Jaguars versus Bengals. Jaguars came out and made the Bengals kind of not look that good. It was more of the Bengals just were not doing anything on offense. And the Jaguars didn't look like as bad of a team. It looked like at halftime, like, even though it was closer at halftime, that the Jaguars were going to possibly come out with a win on this one. But Bengals fought back, and I think that just goes to show they're two different, classes of team. Not that the Bengals are great, but the Jaguars played way up to their potential and played well. What's up, Torres? How's it going?
Hey, my guy. Hey, I need you, Torres. Make sure you work on that guitar lick for me.
Ooh.
Working on getting a new intro song. Right now, our intro song is mostly about me. I mean, it's basically all about me from when I first started. So looking to add a new little element, get some information about Evo, change that up so we can kind of move forward and grow the show as a unit.
I just want him to record it shirtless.
I mean, I'm not.
I don't know if that'll come through the audio, but
I don't think so.
But yeah, so back to that Jaguars-Bengals game. The Bengals ended up winning 24-21. They just kind of, again, they didn't look great in the first half, but that's just the difference between a team with superior talent. The Jaguars are in that rebuild mode. I feel bad for Trevor Lawrence having to be in that system with Urban Meyer.
Well, now Urban did do a better job when I talked about it when we were talking about Desmond Ridder, starting to incorporate some more RPOs and starting to incorporate, that read option, something that Trevor did well in college. That needs to be a part of their game. I know we start seeing more and more elements from the college game go into the NFL. We've seen RPOs for a while. That's really kind of how Nick Foles, Big Pole Foles, ended up winning a title for Philly. He's not a drop back guy. He was good with that RPO. Trevor needs that same kind of influence on his game to kind of help grow his game, take it to the next level. But one thing that I really liked about Trevor in this game is he was not throwing balls into spots he shouldn't throw them. I don't think there was ever one time I was like, oh, that should have been a pick, with the exception of maybe a tip pass.
Yeah, and that Lawrence, they have to build around him going forward. He's going to be the heart and soul of that team, as he should be with being the number 1 overall pick and seen as like a generational quarterback. It's got to be a good feeling for Jacksonville fans like our boy Daiquiri, old
Yep.
Daiquiri Robertson. He's got to like seeing some of the potential that they have there. But at the end of the day, it's going to be a struggle for the Jaguars to get past 3 wins, and I think that might even be pushing it a little bit.
Yeah, now I think they're better than the Jets, but they are still going to struggle to rack up wins this year. The Bengals fought back. Joe Burrow is a stud. He is a guy. He's going to be one of those guys, as long as he stays healthy, we're going to talk about for the next decade as being one of the premier talents at the quarterback position, able to lead his team back. I mean, 2 great touchdowns to his tight end, who, if you had him in fantasy, I'm sure you were having a great day. But more than likely, you didn't have him starting. Uzama is a good tight end, but not your everyday starter on a fantasy team. But he goes out, has almost 100 yards and 2 fucking touchdowns. They battled back. It was a great performance by the Bengals to overcome that adversity. They got Joe Mixon going, but Joe Mixon didn't finish that game, went out with an injury. So how do the Bengals look going forward if Joe Mixon is out for an extended period of time? P. Ryan's not a bad back, but he is not Joe Mixon.
He's your thumper and change of pace guy with a little bit of receiving capability in P. Ryan.
Yeah.
Mixon, so that's Mixon, I think, is one of the most underutilized running backs in the NFL. The Bengals are kind of wasting a very good talent. I loved Mixon coming out of the draft. But is that all lotion on Eva's bathroom counter? Yes. It's scented lotions, lubricants, and stuff like that. I use it for things like just making sure that I have silky smooth skin, or whenever I decide to use rubber fists.
There you go.
That happens every now and then. Trust me, I've got a real fist.
I can't believe you had that on the ready to pull up. That was fantastic.
I got to keep it close by. You know what I'm saying?
I'm working on getting a little whiskey, little liquored up before we get to this Indians game.
Yeah, you should.
But I can't drink too much. This shit's expensive. So thanks, G-Balls.
But yeah, so Mixon, like I said, I think he's extremely underutilized. The Bengals would be well suited to get him mixed in more. But you brought up tight end play, Uzama, for the Bengals. One thing that the Jags did is they traded for Dan Arnold. So they tried to get Dan Arnold in the offseason and weren't able to. Now, I think that's like one of the smarter pickups that they've had, because
that was such a good trade, and it's for a guy that you're not expecting to necessarily have a huge impact. It's going to make a big change in that offense, giving him a guy he can work to underneath who can make plays.
Yeah, he looked really good as an option for Trevor Lawrence. So good pickup there by the Jags. But end of the day, that game finished 24-21 with the Bengals taking it. I was a little bit scared because I had picked the Bengals to win this game. I didn't put any money on it. But I think a lot of people were worried that, Bengals weren't going to win. I mean, they didn't cover. So
No, they didn't fucking cover. So I've been putting in, after I saw that guy won $117,000, almost had the potential to win $750,000. I liked it.
I'll do it again.
I have been putting in 16 leg parlays just to see if I can be that guy who can hit for $750,000. And then I won't have to go to hanger 5 anymore. I can just stay at hanger 6. I had the Bengals covering at 7.5. They did not. I do have another 16 leg parlay though, all money line for 16 grand, and the Bengals did cover. As we're driving out of Arizona, I got the game on. I was in the passenger seat, luckily, so I'm not driving and watching the game.
The side of your best friend's ride.
I was.
At me.
That was beautiful, by the way.
Thank you.
So they covered. Thank God. I still have that parlay open. I thought they were going to win by a lot more. Jacksonville showed me a little something. Now they're not good. I think this might tell us a little bit more about who the Bengals are than the Jags. The Bengals are a good team-ish. They are a 9-8 team.
I mean, they beat my Vikings, but
They did.
It took the Vikings having like 17 penalties and not playing very well compared to the other games that they've played, and it still went to overtime. So Vikings are better than the Bengals, even though they lost to them.
Yeah, I think the Vikings are better than the Bengals, so I'm excited. We have a special little treat for that coming up in a little
I'm
bit.
sure we do.
Yeah. No, good on the Bengals for winning, making a comeback. Burrow showed that he's got some moxie. I mean, we all kind of knew that. We saw him hang in the pocket, almost get fucking decapitated last year, and then he eventually goes out with the knee. But yeah, I had Bengals.
Yep. All right, so let's get into the rest of the games, starting off with the morning games on Sunday. So we'll hold off to the Cleveland Minnesota matchup till a little bit later.
We
But
should.
so we can go first with the Washington football team playing at the Atlanta Falcons, Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta, Georgia. Right now, the Falcons are one of the worst teams in the NFL, I would say. But
Yeah.
the line is Washington by -1.5.
Yeah, so I got Washington. I got the money line, and I have them covering the 1.5. That's basically a pick 'em. Now Atlanta come out, get a win last week, but they're playing the Giants. I have no faith in any team from fucking New York when it comes to football. So Rutgers is going to get smacked today. We'll just toss that in there as well. The Washington football team should win this game because the Falcons aren't any good. They don't know how to incorporate their rookie tight end, a guy that everybody said was a franchise player, the best player in that draft, and a generational talent. They have not been able to fucking utilize him really at all.
Yeah, it's a little bit disappointing to not see Pitts doing more, but hopefully, that'll end up coming out further on. That he'll develop, or something will change with that team that allows him. I don't know that it'll be this year. And tight ends sometimes take a little bit of time to develop, but he's less of a tight end and more of a receiver, to be real. He's just a thick receiver.
He's not an inline guy in any fashion. He's definitely a move guy. He reminds me of a receiver.
It's just a dysfunctional team it's going to be difficult for them to figure it out right now. Look, so I have Washington winning this game, absolutely. Maybe it's just me being stubborn, but I know Washington is a good team. They've got offensive weapons. They've got a stalwart defense, but they're just not putting it together.
Yeah, the defense has not played up to the potential and what we expected from them. And they do have weapons on offense. Gibson's great. Terry McLaurin is a stud, and they're getting another guy back this week in Curtis Samuel coming off the IR. So that should give a boost to that offense.
Yeah. But it's like we could say, oh, the season's kind of over because Heineke's in there. Look, I love Ryan Fitzpatrick, and not having him as the starter hurts. But Fitzpatrick he's a good quarterback, but he's that high-end tier backup quarterback. Heineke is showing that he has that as well.
I don't know if the difference in talent from Fitzpatrick to Heineke is really that big of a difference. I think the one thing that they lose is leadership. Heineke does not have the type of leadership, but their level of play is not very different, in my opinion.
Yeah, their level of play isn't very different. Their style of play is different. Heineke is a little bit more of that scrambler type guy, a little bit more elusive and things like that. But the talent drop off isn't that crazy. They're both higher end caliber backup style quarterbacks that are being put in this situation. It was really weird to see Washington not go out there this offseason and try to find themselves a new starter, because if they had aspirations of going and being like a playoff potential team this year, you'd think that they would go ahead and get their quarterback now rather than hoping to get one in the draft or free agency next year.
I mean, you can go out there, you can trade for a Minshew. I think Minshew is a starter. I don't know if he's high level starter, but I think he's better than Fitzpatrick, and I think he's better than Heineke. You got Cam out on the street still. Now, the style of play would have to change bringing Cam in, so I think that is a roadblock a little bit there. But I think Cam is probably still better than Fitzpatrick and Heineke. there are guys that you can go get. I mean, Cleveland just tried to make a play to pick up another quarterback off of Denver's practice squad. If something like that happens, who says that they don't make Case Keenum available in a trade?
That's true. And look, you can't have enough good quarterbacks. I mean, financially it's tough, but you need to constantly be rolling through guys and seeing who's got some talent, who can be developed, things like that. And Washington State is taking a weird route about not going after someone that could be a franchise guy. They've got to have something planned. I don't know what. Maybe they're going to do like this big marketing type scheme when they switch from the Washington football team to whatever their new name is going to be, and then have a new face of the franchise. I think if they keep playing as bad as they've been playing, then yeah, they're going to have a lower pick and they're going to have more trade capital in order to go up and try to get whatever guy that they want, even though I'm not feeling great about this quarterback class.
No, I don't feel real good about this quarterback class at all. The guys that should be at the top are not playing. I mean, we just talked about the potential number 1 overall pick getting booed in Oklahoma, and this is fucking college. You think he goes to a professional organization, in an organization in a big market like Washington, and struggles? They're going to fucking run his ass right out of town.
Yeah.
But
either way, Washington should win this game.
Yeah.
That's who I have winning this game. The line being Washington minus 1.5. It should be higher than that for me because I don't believe Atlanta's very good at all. But Washington just has not put it together this year. It's really weird.
I agree. All right, what's the next game we got?
We got Texans and the Bills playing in Orchard Park, New York.
Texans and Bills. So I have Bills winning this game. They're going to win it pretty easily, I think, by 2 touchdowns. But the
line is minus 17.
So when I put in my bet, the spread was plus 15.5. I think the Texans cover 15.5 even. They'll lose by 2 scores, but they won't lose by 3 scores. The Bills are really good. The Texans are not a bad team, though. I think Mills.
The Texans are a bad team, but they're playing well. They're running the rock a lot. They're spreading the ball between those running backs a lot. They are a good show of what a bad team should do to play up to a higher level of competition.
And Davis Mills,
expectation.
Davis Mills has played above his draft position. Like, he has not looked bad. He was a 3rd-round guy from Stanford. He is not playing bad at all. I mean, losing Tyrod takes away a part of their game, being able to break the pocket like they had with Deshaun. But Davis Mills has not played terrible. They just don't have a ton of weapons. Bills are going to win this game. And the score will be closer than the game is. I think the Texans cover 15.5. Now the line's up to 17, you said.
Yeah, it's minus 17 for Buffalo, and I don't see that. I mean, I got Bills winning this. I do have them winning it, closer to like maybe 10.
Yeah.
But I mean, and we can bring this up again a little bit later, but they hung out close with the Browns. And Browns, I think, are as good, if not better than the Bills, at least roster-wise.
Talent-wise, I think that they're probably better, but
yeah. So the Texans, for all the shit that we have given them, they have shown some moxie,
Yeah. Now, since we're on the Texans, let's talk about some of the big news potentially coming to Houston very soon. I'm in the Lone Star State. Is Houston gonna fucking trade Deshaun Watson? And who is he going to? The only 2 places that I can think of are Philly and Miami. Miami has the draft capital. Philly has the draft capital. I want to say that Miami's going to do it because I don't believe that Brian Flores believes in Tua at all. Tua's hurt right now. He has a history of injuries. That team with a Deshaun Watson, assuming he is not in jail or out of the league, that's a playoff team guaranteed.
Yeah, it's pretty wild that the league hasn't put him on the commissioner exempt list.
Yeah, nothing's happened with him.
It's the team that is just deactivating him as non-football injury or not a non-football injury, but non-football related or whatever. I can't remember the exact designation, but they're just not suiting him up because he's not going to suit up for him. You know, he's already said that.
Yeah, he's not going to play for him for sure. But also the legal issues, I think it creates the NFL should just come down and say he's on the commissioner's exempt list, because right now they're putting the Texans in a really weird bind where they have to sit him.
Yes,
but he should be on the exempt list because he's getting every fucking dime of his guaranteed money. If he's on that exempt list, he's not getting that.
And I don't see how the league cannot put him on that commissioner's exempt list. They did it with Adrian Peterson. They've done it since then on players where they're kind of in this limbo situation of what their legal status is going to be. And then, you know, the league obviously reacts based off of the legal findings as to suspensions and things like that for conduct detrimental to the league. The league needs to step up and do something because they are doing a disservice to the Texans. And also they need to make it clear to the other teams that are potential suitors, because as a GM of another team, and now like Howie Roseman is a dumb fucking GM. I don't know how else to put it. He's the only person that I could see being like, yeah, we're going to take the guy. We're not going to know anything what's going to go on with his future. We don't know if he's going to jail. We don't know if the league is suspending him. But yeah, I'm going to send away like all my first round picks this year, all three of them. I'm going to send away all sorts of future picks. I'm Howie Roseman, and I'm fucking going to do it. When Jalen Hurts is actually playing okay for them.
He's not playing bad at all. So that's what I was going to say is, if it's not Miami, it's going to be Philly. And the only reason that I think he goes to Philly over Miami is because Howie Roseman's going to get absolutely fucking fleeced by the Texans. He's going to give up way too much for a guy he has no idea what's happening with his future. Because if you give up 3 first-round picks, 2 first-round picks and a second, and he goes to jail, you know what you don't fucking get back? 2 firsts and a second. That is your future. Like, you're trying to build a winning organization, and you have Jalen Hurts, who has not played bad. But if there's a GM who would fucking do that, it's Howie Roseman. The only reason I'm not tossing Dave Gettleman in that sentence is because they're still sticking with Danny Dimes.
Yeah. Now, not that there isn't some fault on the Texans here. Their asking price is stupid, and it's kind of like that girlfriend-boyfriend breakup where it's like the guy doesn't want to lose the girl, and he's just like, no, we're not broken up. We're going to make it, babe. But she's already like ready to move on and moving on. They need to cut ties and take one of these big deals if it's available as soon as possible. Like, don't get me wrong. In his prime, in Deshaun Watson's prime, yeah, I could see 2 to 3 first-round picks.
I'd give 3 ones for his prime, no legal issues.
But what they're asking for him right now, like if you don't take all the legal issues out, all of that shit, they're still asking too much for what he was in his prime. It's just it's unheard of. You're talking Herschel Walker level type trade for a guy that is very, very good, and he's worth a lot, but he's not worth that much.
Yeah, and they're trying to get somebody to trade their entire draft for Ricky Williams, like the fucking Saints did, and it's not going to happen. They got to take what they can get. If they get fucking 2 ones, they should take it immediately. If a team is going to offer 2 ones, then they're morons, because that's way too much for a guy you have no idea what's happening with his future.
Yeah, but either way, we both got Buffalo on this one. It sounds like.
Yeah, Buffalo by 14.
All righty. Moving on. NFC North matchup, Lions and Bears in Chicago at Soldier Field.
So I watched the Bears last weekend. Obviously, they were playing the Browns. I cannot believe that Matt Nagy still has a job going into this week. Have they named a starting quarterback for the week?
No, he said game time decision.
Game time decision. You have 3 guys, okay? We have a guy in the Red Rifle, Andy Dalton, who should not have been the starter to begin with. We know what Andy Dalton is. We thought they should have started the rookie Justin Fields. Justin is not ready. We saw it, okay? The Browns put a hurt on the Bears. 9 sacks is a ridiculous number to put up on any quarterback. All the blame is not on Justin Fields, though, because Matt Nagy tried to play the exact same game plan for Andy Dalton and Justin Fields. Hi, baby girl. That's not ever going to work. And then you got Big Pole Foles waiting in the background. So if you do not have a game plan ready for Justin Fields, the smart thing to do would be to start Big Pole Foles and let the veteran go out there and play a game and let the rookie continue to sit and get ready. He didn't fucking do that, and he sent Justin Fields out to slaughter. Myles Garrett is the best pass rusher in the NFL. I know we slightly disagree on that. You've got him at least top 3.
Yeah, I'd say.
And
Top 5.
Oh.
And it's I have to think about this, but I've got Myles Garrett, Daniil Hunter, I've got Joey Bosa, TJ Watt's in the conversation, Chase Young's in the conversation. Like,
I need to. Chase hasn't performed this year, but
but neither has the entire Washington football team.
correct. We talked about that.
Yeah.
But okay, but he sent him to slaughter. Myles got 4.5 sacks. Jadeveon got 2 sacks. Like, Jadeveon Clowney is not a big sack guy. He is a physical force. He is absolutely physically dominant. And he got 2 fucking sacks. It was so bad. In the moment, and I texted you this, in the moment, I was ecstatic. I was like, this fucking Bears team sucks. We look super good. And then after going back and thinking about the game, looking at their game plan, I was like, I feel bad for Justin because he was set up. It's either negligence or he purposely wanted him to fail. Like, it was terrible. Nagy has got to be fired, and he's going to get fired after this week because the Detroit Lions, who have been in every fucking game they've played, are going to go in and win. I've got the money line, and I have them +3.
Yeah, I don't know exactly what to think of the Detroit Lions other than they are hanging it with a lot of good teams.
That
It comes
team
down
plays
to a
hard as
record.
fuck.
It comes down to a record-breaking field goal from the best kicker in the NFL ever to put the Ravens ahead of the Lions.
They're not bad. They're just unlucky.
They're
bad.
I'm not willing to say that they're bad. They're not good, but I'm not willing to say that they're bad yet. Like I said, I can't get a complete read on them because these guys are playing up to the talent level of all these teams that they're playing. They're hanging in these games that they shouldn't be hanging in.
Yes. Dan Campbell has he has not won a game yet, but he has done a fantastic job with that Lions team. Those guys are hanging around. They do not quit. They stay in every fucking game. Yep. They will fight you tooth and nail. And like you said, it comes down to the record-long field goal from the greatest kicker in history, statistically, to beat them. That Lions team, not terrible, is definitely better than the Bears at this point, though.
Yeah. The line is Bears -3, which I think is a fucking joke.
That's insane.
It's a joke. Yeah, home field advantage and stuff like that. But look, I agree. If Nagy isn't fired after this week, after the Bears lose, then I don't know what the hell ownership is thinking in Chicago. This guy is hurting his team constantly. He is
toxic for that team.
Yes. It is rough. Bears, I don't see them walking out with a win here at home. When you're favored, you're at home, and there's already the highest odds that your coach is going to be the first one to be fired this year. Like, the Lions are going to come in there. They're going to get their first win of the year.
Yep.
Good for them. I don't
Congrats
see
to Motor City Dan Campbell for getting his first win.
Yeah. It's just, man, the Bears, man. I don't know what they're doing. The quarterback situation is rough. I felt really bad for Justin Fields last week. I was bullish on him. I'll eat crow. I was very bullish on him having an okay game, but goddamn, like, what they got, like, what, less than 100 yards of offense?
So yeah, Justin Tucker's field goal went 19 yards longer than all of their offense.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
They averaged maybe not quite 18 yards. So they got 47 yards of offense, 1 net yard of passing because he was sacked so many times.
Yeah,
that is outrageous. Now, it gives me some hope for the Bears defense starting to get together. Not the Browns defense starting to come together. But we were playing Matt Nagy and the Bears. So I don't know how much credit I could really give that Browns defense. But this makes me think a lot more of Mitch Trubisky. Mitch Trubisky took that team to the fucking playoffs twice under Matt Nagy.
Yeah. I think we can move on from that one, though.
Yeah, for sure.
Next game, this is a real interesting one for me. It's a tough pick, but Carolina Panthers and Dallas Cowboys. All right, so Cowboys playing at home. They're 2-1, and the Panthers are 3-0, which is kind of surprising. Darnold has looked good since he got out from under that shit in
video call. I think he's trying to get in.
Well, I'll text him and see what's up. But that was Philadelphia Shithawk sideline reporter Bobbert Goblin.
Oh, Bobbert Goblin.
Yeah. But the Panthers have looked way better than I was expecting them to. Now they are without Christian McCaffrey, who is, impressive. Obviously, he is what their offense should really go through. Chuba Hubbard didn't look bad, but he didn't look great. And the Dallas Cowboys just have that crazy good offense. And their defense, I think their defense on paper is worse than it was last year, but they are playing better. And I don't know why.
New defensive coordinator.
Dan Quinn is going to play a major role in that. But look, they got the line on this. So Cowboys, I believe,
are losing points.
Cowboys -4. All right.
So when I did it, it was Cowboys -4.5.
Yeah, it's -4 right now. This is a tough one. Like, I think the Cowboys should win this game. They should have enough offense to outpace the Panthers, but the Panthers' defense has looked sneakily good, albeit they've played Houston, New Orleans, and the Jets.
Yeah.
Right? 3 teams that are, again, we did just talk about how Houston has looked better than what they are, but and New Orleans had the week 1 win against Green Bay, which I love, but they haven't looked the same since.
That's because Green Bay wasn't Green Bay in week 1.
Yeah, so it's tough. I think the Cowboys are going to win this one. I have the Cowboys winning this one, but I honestly don't know what to think. This is like the first real test for the Panthers, and it's a hard test because they don't have McCaffrey.
Yeah, so this is going to be a very, very tough game. I think it's going to be very close. But this is one of my upset picks. I have the Panthers pulling this off against the Cowboys. The Cowboys have looked great on offense. Their defense has played better than I expected. But that Panthers team is starting to figure some things out. I'm starting to come around a little bit on Sam Darnold not being terrible. I'm starting to think that Adam Gase really fucked him over because that's what Adam Gase does. Darnold has looked really, really good. Chuba Hubbard, I was expecting almost nothing from him. I thought he was very overrated in college. Ran really well behind that fucking Panthers offensive line. I think that obviously you're not replacing the production of McCaffrey, but he will absolutely be serviceable. And if there's a place that you can exploit that Dallas defense, it's in the run game. I think Chuba can have a pretty decent day. They can rotate guys in. And if they get that run game going, I like Sam Darnold in that play action game that they're trying to work over with the Panthers. Matt Rule is a offensive genius. This is one of my upset picks. I have a couple of them. But the Bears are technically an upset, but I don't consider them an upset.
No.
I got Panthers money line, and I have them the +4.5 if I'm taking the money line.
And I've got the Cowboys winning this one, but I think this is going to tell us a lot more about what the Panthers are because they just look. I've heard the saying that from coaches who get asked about oh, you've played nothing but bad teams or whatever, and they say we can only play the people that are out there on the field across from us.
Yep.
We're gonna play them, and if we beat them and they happen to have a bad record, that is what it is. But I mean, you still have to look a little bit into that level of competition.
And that's going to come up again later on in the show when we get to the Broncos.
Absolutely. I could see this going either way. I think the line should be closer, but I do have the Cowboys winning this one.
Okay. Do you think Panthers cover 4.5?
They might. It's a closer game. I'm wondering how they're going to do without Christian McCaffrey. If Christian McCaffrey is playing, I might be leaning towards the Panthers. But I think at the end of the day, the Cowboys' offense is going to be that passing offense is just going to be too much for the Panthers' defense. Even though, again, the Panthers' defense has looked good, but the Cowboys were able to put up big numbers against the Bucs, and the Bucs got a good defense.
Yeah, they do. I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and bash the Cowboys at all. They are way better than I was expecting on defense. So, all right, what's the next game we got?
We got ourselves Colts at the Dolphins, and Miami is favored -2.5.
Yeah, why are they favored though? I don't like. So the Colts, we've been very down on the Colts, specifically Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz played last week with 2 fucking sprained ankles, which is the most sprained ankles you can have unless you're a fucking 4-legged animal. So he's out there battling, fighting on 2 sprained ankles. That gives me a little bit of a confidence boost that Carson is not the same Carson who's willing to just lay down and die when things aren't going well.
I'm not sold.
I know you're not. I know you're not. You fucking hate
that. Look, the Colts are
Miami without Tua. I'm not. No.
Now you've been down on Tua, right? And you like Brissett as a high-level backup.
I do. I think that Jacoby is a high-level backup. I am not high on Tua. I think Tua may be marginally, very marginally better than Brissett. But that offense in Miami does not go. It's stagnant. And that Colts defense is still very fucking good. That Colts defense didn't go anywhere. They just lost a quarterback. So what they needed was good quarterback play. But they're running the ball really well right now. Like, I think they can go in there and they can get this win in Miami. I'm not gonna quit on Carson just yet because he's not quitting on his team like he has in the past. He was a guy that a little bump, a little bruise, little adversity, and he folds. This man has 2 sprained ankles going out there and trying to play. I'm going to give the edge to the Colts in this game.
I got Miami winning. I think that they're actually a pretty good roster. My worry is Brissett because I'm not as bullish on him as you are. Miami also gets Will Fuller back this week, so that's going to help them out some on the offensive side. I think their defense is better than people give them credit for. I think, I said before that I thought that they were a sleeper team to get into the playoffs this year, and they still might be, depending on how long Tua is out for, because Tua does give them a little bit more than Brissett does. But look, the Colts, I just can't get behind Carson Wentz.
I know you can't. I knew you wouldn't. I knew we were going to disagree here. Robert Gosselin says the Bucs don't have a good defense. They're returning all 22 from a Super Bowl winning team.
And they have a crazy Richard Sherman now on a pretty solid deal for them. They have a good defense. Their pass defense has been hurting, but also, again,
Richard Sherman helps. I don't care. Richard Sherman, even at the later stages of his career, has still been fucking pretty goddamn good. He's not Legion of Boom Richard Sherman, but the dude can still ball.
Yeah, absolutely. And look, we need to take some of these comments with a grain of salt. This is a Philadelphia Shithawks fan who is slobbing on Jalen Hurts' knob hard right now.
Well, yeah, and he should be pumping up Carson. Like, he should be like, hey, yeah, let's agree with whatever makes Carson and the Colts look a little bit better because he needs him to play 75% of these motherfucking snaps.
He does. That's all he's hoping for, really. But yeah, I've got the Dolphins in this one. This could be a closer game. This might be the game that the Colts get their first win, but I'm just not feeling it.
Yeah, I mean, the Colts are not as good as they should be. Their defense is still pretty good. The offense has struggled, and it's because Carson has been incredibly inconsistent. But I like Carson battling back. I think the Dolphins and the Colts are very close in talent wise. I'm going to give the edge Carson Wentz over Brissett very, very slightly. The spread's only 1.5, so it's basically a pick 'em. I got Colts money line and covering the spread 1.5. Obviously, if I go on money line.
All righty. Moving on. This will be a fun game as well. There's some kind of boring games this week, but we've got Giants at the Saints. Saints are currently favored -7. I can see that happening. Look, the Saints, other than Week 1, have not looked fantastic.
No,
but they're 2-1, so give them credit for that. But the Giants just have looked kind of like a dumpster fire. Saquon Barkley is not like he was earlier on in his career. Yeah, I got the Saints in this one, especially playing at home in the Superdome. So
yeah.
the
So
Caesars Superdome.
what city do the Giants play football in?
East Rutherford.
Okay, so they play East Rutherford, right? That's in New
I
York,
don't, I
right?
don't remember.
They're in New
I
York.
believe so. Yeah.
Giants are from New York.
Yes.
Yeah, give me the fucking Saints then, because every team from New York sucks ass. I don't
bad.
like. There is nothing that sells me on the Giants at all. They have not looked good in any facet. Saquon has not run the ball like people who drafted him in fantasy have hoped. We've talked about. We think Saquon is maybe a little overrated. And yeah, I don't have a ton of faith in the Saints. I don't have a ton of faith in Jameis. But I got the Saints, and I have them covering the 7.5 for when I put the bet in. The Giants are trash. I'm sorry, Corey Coleman. I love you. Your boys suck. They're not as bad as the Jets, but the Giants are the second worst team in football.
Yep. And like Bobbert Goblin here said, Giants are down Slayton and Shepard.
Yeah, so fuck the
not-
Giants. I got nothing on the
not helping.
Giants. I don't even want to spend time on the Giants. Danny Dimes ain't great. Saquon's a little overrated. They can't fucking stop anybody. Give me the Saints covering and money line.
Yep, absolutely. All right, moving on. Chiefs and the Shithawks. So can't wait to see what.
Oh yeah, so I'm
Goslin has
very
to say
excited for
about
the
this.
comments coming out of old Bobbert Goblin for this. The Chiefs are not going 1-3. There's no fucking way they're going 1-3.
I mean, we said
They're
last
too
week that they
goddamn
weren't.
good.
We said last week that they weren't going to lose 2 in a row, but here we are.
Yeah, here we are. No, there's no way. The Eagles aren't that good. The Eagles are better than I expected. Jalen Hurts has played very well. Pat Mahomes is still Pat Mahomes.
Yep.
That defense needs to step up, and they have got to get CEH the ball more because he played very well in the last game. They need more balance on offense. When they don't have balance, they can kind of trap Pat into some different looks, and that's where we see Pat do some things that we don't typically see Pat do and throw into double and fucking triple coverage last game. So I got the Chiefs. I have them covering the 7.5. The Eagles are better, but the Chiefs are not going 1-3. And if they do, I'm going to be very fucking pissed off. The Browns are the only reason they're not 0-4.
All right, you heard it here from Mike. You hear it here from Bobbert Goblin. We are going to lose. Look, I agree. Chiefs win. Chiefs cover. The Eagles got fucking throttled last week by the Cowboys. Got throttled, you know. It was a rough game for them, especially in that second half. Chiefs got this one. They're going to go into Philly and go 2-2 at week 4. Chiefs are a much better team than the Eagles. It's not a matter of them not going back-to-back losses or 3 losses in a row. They're just a better team. Now, I've said it before. I think that the Chiefs are overrated, and a lot of that is because Mahomes is so damn good and he elevates that team. But they are a bit overrated. I wouldn't say that they're the class of the AFC or anything like people kind of were purporting. But Chiefs should have no problem handling the Eagles in this game.
Yeah, so we saw the comment from Gosselin say if they can run the ball, they can cover. I don't know if they can with Miles Sanders now. He's not been terrible, but the Chiefs did a decent job of slowing down the Browns. Now, we still had a decent day. We had over 150 yards rushing, but 150 yards rushing for the Browns is not a stellar day like it is for some teams. That is average to slightly below average in what we can do in the running game. I don't see them running the ball a lot. I don't see them being able to run the unless Jalen can get loose on some RPO read option type stuff. It's the Chiefs, and it's really probably not going to be that fucking close.
Shouldn't be. But so that wraps it up for our morning games. All right. So we'll be moving on now to the afternoon games and the Monday night game. Of course, we got to jump back to one morning game, but we'll do that.
We will get back to that morning game. Trust me.
Yep. All right. So Arizona Cardinals versus the LA Rams, and the Rams are favored -4. Rams showed us last week that they deserve to be looked at as NFC Championship contenders.
Yeah,
the Bucks.
They might be the class of the NFC with Stafford there. Stafford is a drastic upgrade over what the fuck's the kid's name? I just forgot it.
Goff,
who should get his first one as a Lion this week. The Rams are so fucking good. They're good on defense. They're good. Cooper Kupp is insane. Like, I don't expect a little 6-foot white guy to be able to put these professional corners in a goddamn blender like he does. He is the best route runner in the NFL. He ran a little hitch out that, if you go back and look at the tape, it is amazing the things that this man can do route running. He sells every route that he makes. He's got a ton of wiggle. Cooper Kupp is a fucking stud. The Rams win. The Rams cover. 4.5 is what I had it at. You said they're now down to 4, right?
Yep.
And the Cardinals have been flirting with disaster a couple times. Their offense is great. Their defense played really well week 1, not so great in week 2 and 3. If you don't play a damn near perfect game against that Rams offense, you're not going to stop them. The Bucks couldn't fucking do it. And the Bucks defense is better than the Cardinals.
Yeah, and the Bucks came out beat up after that game. Gronk's hurt and stuff,
Yeah.
They immediately went out and signed Richard Sherman because they were like, hey, if the Rams are able to beat us, we need to do something different for when we face them in the NFC Championship game, potentially. Look, the Rams are awesome. They're the number 1 team in the NFC, in my opinion, right now. It's not even a question for me. With the Bucks being 2, but still they were able to win that game. They were able to show that they are the class of the NFC right now. The Cardinals are not a bad team, but as you said, they've kind of been flirting with disaster. Now, this will be a different game because those Cardinals have a different element on offense. That Tom Brady is not a mobile quarterback. Kyler is. He can create a little bit of havoc. And if the Rams aren't able to contain Kyler or continue their coverage downfield when Kyler starts his little scrambles and stuff like that and gets away from that front 7 of the Rams, that could cause some issues for him. Right now, with the line being -4 for the Rams, I actually like that. I think that's probably pretty close. I think the Cardinals will end up hanging with them, but top to bottom, the roster on the Rams is better than the Cardinals.
Yeah.
I don't know that the Cardinals defense can hold up to the Rams offense. I think
That
the
might be
Rams
that
defense.
might be the most underlooked aspect of their game. Like that offense, who on that offense is really a name that pops? I mean, Cooper Kupp for a long time before the start of the season was looked as a slot guy, right? He's not a guy who goes out and wins one-on-one matchups every time. He's a matchup guy. You put him in the slot, he beats linebackers or a safety. He's evolved. Robert Woods was their number one. Robert Woods is a very good receiver, might be taking it like, but is there anybody who just screams draft this guy in fantasy football? Is there like Cooper Kupp is that guy now, but before the year started, did we see that being the case?
I mean, I thought, like I've said before, I thought that both Cooper Kupp and Robert Woods were going to have 100-catch, 1,000-yard plus seasons, with flirting with double-digit touchdowns. I thought
Is
that
that
this year
because of
was
their
going to be big for
talent?
them.
Is that because of their talent, or is that because of Stafford?
I mean, they got elevated to that for me because Stafford was brought in and Goff just wasn't that guy.
So in my opinion, that Stafford trade was probably the biggest and most influential thing that happened all offseason.
Mm-hmm. I believe we said that last week, that Stafford trade is going to be underrated until people see them win a Super Bowl or go to the Super Bowl, NFC Championship game. That you
I think
can't
people are
give
starting
enough
to
praise
realize
for it.
now with them beating the Bucks, this team is fucking incredibly dangerous.
Yeah, absolutely.
Maybe the class of the NFC.
Yep. I do have the Rams winning this game. I'm not sure if they cover. They should, but I'm not sure if they do.
I have the
Cardinals,
win and the cover.
I know we got a lot of Cardinals fans here in Arizona.
We do.
And I think they are a good team. I think that they could hang for a while with the Rams. But that is extremely contingent upon if Kyler can make those scrambles happen, if he can scramble enough where the receivers are able to get open. They are afforded that extra time to get open, because they ain't getting it through their running game. Chase Edmonds isn't the guy that's going to add that sort of aspect. It's heavily contingent upon Kyler. Now, Kyler has had a good year. He also has had more turnovers than you would like to see.
Where did the Cardinals draft? 17th, 18th? I don't remember where they drafted.
Not sure. Don't remember.
But there was a guy on the board when they drafted who perfectly fits that offensive system.
16.
Now, 16. If
They
they
got
go out,
Zaven Collins.
they get Zaven Collins. Zaven Collins has looked very good.
Yep.
But if they wanted to find a guy, now drafting a running back in the first round is always very sketchy, especially with a guy who gets hurt in training camp and cannot play for the Jags. But Travis Etienne in that offense would have been lights out. They don't have the type of running backs that fit that offense. Edmonds is a guy who catches the ball well, but Connor he's not a zone guy. Like he is a one-cut downhill pro offense style runner. They don't have that kind of offense. They're a spread offense. Etienne ran all of that shit in college. Would have been a perfect fit on offense there. They need to find a guy who works with their system, because as long as they keep winning, that system is not going to change.
Yeah, absolutely. That's, I said before, and I'll say it again, I don't like it when offenses become one-dimensional, because then you can game plan against that.
Yeah.
The Cardinals' offense is unfortunately one-dimensional. It can be very high-powered, and that's what allows them to sometimes throttle teams or beat better teams. But Rams in this one, I think the Rams probably cover, but it'll be close.
Okay. All right. Hey, Evo, can you put us either on a quick break or you talk? I have to go pee. I have a couple beers and a little whiskey in me.
Yeah,
So,
I'll just talk about the Vikings-Cleveland game.
oh, okay. Yeah, that sounds good. When you get back, I'm going to show everybody my butthole, because that's probably what your opinion is worth.
It's a good thing that I'm the co-host, huh? All right, so next game that we got coming up, Seahawks and Niners. All right, San Francisco is favored -2.5. San Francisco played the Green Bay Packers last week, and they were winning by the end of the game. Green Bay came out slinging it, looked good, but 49ers stayed with them, fought back, they were winning, and then they gave Aaron Rodgers time on the clock, which seems like it happens all the time. People don't give him enough credit for his ability to come back in those pressure situations, just like Tom Brady does. You leave time on the clock for Tom Brady, he's gonna make something happen. It just always happens. So 49ers, good team. Seahawks, I saw them last week, not very good. The Seahawks defense was lost, all right, against the Vikings offense. Especially in the passing attack. So I don't see any way that the 49ers don't win this game. They're a much more talented team. They started mixing in Brandon Ayuk a little bit more into their passing game. The line, I think, should be a much wider margin. San Francisco by 2.5. I have them winning by at least a touchdown. So if I were betting, which I'm not doing a whole lot of betting anymore because I have been losing money like a motherfucker, I would be betting the 49ers. I would be betting them to cover. Seahawks, look, it's their offense didn't even look that great last week against the Vikings. It's been a rough go for the Seahawks. You know, normally that first half of the year, Russell's able to sling it a lot, but wasn't able to get it done last week. And the Vikings were able to kind of beat them very handily. So 49ers for me, but Mike, back from the old PP break, we got Seahawks 49ers with San Francisco -2.5, and I think that line isn't even wide enough.
Okay, so I got when I did it, I had 49ers -3. I had the 49ers in this game. Now, the thing that the Seahawks will fall to 1-3 is crazy, right? They're the Seahawks. They're a good team. Russell Wilson's a fucking stud. He's an MVP candidate. Not anymore. It's not that Russell ain't a good player. It's not that it's not a good team. There is so much. I guarantee there's still a lot of internal fighting going on with the things that happened this offseason that it's creating some problems, right? Now, their defense in Seattle has not been good in a while since the Legion of Boom. They're really bad against the run, specifically, okay? So when we talk about teams being bad against the run, there's a couple things that we could talk about.
It is a rough weekend for betting. Yeah.
Yeah, so Tennessee is absolutely smacking the fuck out of Missouri, 55 to something. The Seahawks have been really bad against the run, but what they've been really even worse at is being bad against the run against teams who run a wide zone scheme. Okay, so Tennessee runs that wide zone scheme. It's a zone blocking concept up front, allows your running back who has good vision to make cutbacks, to kind of pick his hole and go. That's the same coaching scheme that I coach for my 9U team, because you don't have to have great athletes on the offensive line to create running lanes. If everybody flows, your running back, if he's got good vision, finds a hole. The defense's job is to play very sound assignment football. The Seahawks have not. Tennessee runs that offense. The Vikings run that exact same wide zone scheme offense. You know who else fucking runs it? You know whose dad fucking basically engineered that type of offense? Kyle Shanahan. The Shanahan offense is going to run all over this Seattle team. I don't care what fucking running back is back there. I don't care if it's Trey Sermon. I don't care if it's any one of these other rookies. Who was the guy they got off of Baltimore's practice squad? Second-year guy?
Yeah, I can't ever remember his name.
I don't fucking remember his name either. That kid can run behind. It will not matter. That wide zone scheme has given the Seahawks so many fucking problems. They're not going to be able to slow down that run game for the 49ers. Russell is going to throw for a lot of yards. This
Trenton
game
Cannon.
may be close. I got the Niners. I had them covering. I had them covering at 3. You said the line is now 2.5, right?
Yep.
Yeah, they will win by at least a field goal, which gives me a push. And on the new line, they cover. I got the Niners.
Yep. And it's Trenton Cannon is the running back that they got from the Ravens.
Okay.
One thing we got to jump back. My bad. We skipped over one of the games, and it's pretty easy to see why. New York Jets and Tennessee Titans. I got the Titans all day.
Well, so I got the Titans. I don't want to spend a lot of time. Okay, it's the Titans.
But you have to talk a little bit about the Jets and your favorite quarterback.
I do have to talk a little bit about the Jets. The Titans are a better team. The Jets are fucking terrible. They're the worst team in the NFL. Their quarterback has no goddamn idea what he's doing in the pocket. I told everybody, I said it very clearly last week. They're playing one of the best secondaries in football in the Broncos. He was going to throw at least 2 picks. At least 2. He threw exactly 2 picks. One of them may or may not have been his fault. But when you force the ball into tight windows, when you're late, those things happen, whether the receiver should have caught it or not. That's the kind of shit that happens. The Jets are terrible. Zach Wilson is also, right now, not very good, and I fucking called it. He is so late on us. He is still trying to play college football in the NFL. His throws are late. Almost always. He does not throw people open. He waits for guys to get open. That shit doesn't work in the NFL. The athletes are too good. These are not a bunch of fucking random-ass kids from middle America who are trying to play defense. These are world-class athletes. They are a better athlete than you or I ever thought about being. They are better athletes than 99% of the population in America or the world. You cannot be that late with the ball, but he is always fucking late. When he throws good balls, it's on go routes. It's on hooks. I love him because he makes me look like I know what the fuck I'm talking about. Because I have been right on everything that I have said about Zach Wilson. I'm not wishing ill. Do I want to be right? Yes. If Zach proves me wrong, I will get on here with a big fucking smile on my face and say I'm wrong. But so far, I'm not. I don't and Jets fans, I get it. You've got to back your guy. I back Baker to the death even when he fucks up. I get it. Stick by your dude. He is your guy for at least the next 2 years.
I mean, you better hope that he starts showing something.
He has to.
Fan.
That fucking market will eat him alive. This is a very sheltered fucking kid from Utah. He is the Mormon Johnny Manziel. Like, he does not play the game the way that people think the game should be played. It's late. He has so much arm. He has probably better arm talent than 25 quarterbacks who start in the NFL. What he doesn't have is timing, rhythm, or decision-making. Those things will get you killed in the NFL, and that's exactly what has happened to Zach Wilson.
Yep. I'm sitting here looking at the Jets' schedule. I'm trying to see where they could pick a win up.
They're going to get one because they won't go 0-17. 0-17 the first year you have a 17-game schedule would be hilarious.
It might happen.
I don't know. It's not going to happen.
It might happen. They've got the Falcons next week. Falcons aren't a great team, but Falcons beat the Giants. Giants are better than the Jets. Falcons. That's my logic. All right. Then going from there, looking down, if the Dolphins somehow really just take a dive, I could see that maybe, but probably not because I like their
division game. I don't know. I don't think so.
They played the Dolphins twice. I don't see it happening. The next closest one that I've got is December 26th versus the Jaguars.
Okay, yeah. So but the Jaguars look way better already than that Jets team
Exactly.
does.
Someone is going to have a hell of a bad day. All right. So just running down the list here. They've got Titans this week, Falcons next week, Patriots, Bengals, Colts, Bills, Dolphins, Texans, eh.
Eh.
Eagles, Saints, Dolphins again, Jags, Buccaneers, and they finish out with the Bills. They might go 0-17, man.
I mean, we said this about the Dolphins when they were trying to lose, and they still found a way to win 3 games and not get the first round pick, the number 1 overall pick.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
I have a hard time. I didn't think the Browns would go fucking 0-16. We found a way, thanks to Sean Kaiser. Actually, thanks Corey Coleman for dropping the easy first down.
There's a lot of blame to go around on.
It's really hard in the NFL to be good. It's almost impossible to be that bad, though.
Yeah. All right. I think we've hit on that enough. Probably back to our afternoon games. We've got the Ravens going to Mile High Stadium versus the Broncos. This is a fun game. The line right now is even.
Really? Okay. So when I got
Yes.
this game, I got the Ravens plus a point. So I was as soon as I saw Ravens plus 1, I was like, "Give me the fucking Ravens."
Yep.
So the Broncos are a better team. They're not bad. Teddy Two Gloves has played very well, but who have they played?
That's the other thing is I was going to say again. Is it that whole? It doesn't. It's not about who you played. It's just whoever's on the field.
Yeah.
You got to play who's on the field.
We kind of foreshadowed this earlier.
Hi, Facebook user.
Hi, Facebook user. No, I foreshadowed it earlier. Like this was going to come up again when we talked about the Broncos. The collective record of the Broncos' opponents is 0-9.
Yeah, but they've got a solid defense.
They do. They have very solid defense.
Talents. The weakness would be Teddy Bridgewater, but Teddy Bridgewater has looked good, and I'm a huge Teddy fan. I love the kid.
Yeah, I know you have a special place. You would have loved to keep Teddy had he not.
I was actually a proponent of us keeping Teddy and Case Keenum and rolling with that combo over spending the big money on Kirk Cousins. Now, I'm feeling a lot better about Kirk Cousins now and lately, even though I still have my reservations. But, I love Teddy. I love Teddy. He's such a good kid.
Yeah, he is a good kid. He's a good quarterback. He's not the quarterback I wanted in that draft. I was a huge fan of Carr. I was anywhere I could put it out. I was like, the Browns need to draft Carr because I did not want fucking Johnny Manziel, and everybody can see why the fuck I didn't want Johnny Manziel.
Yeah.
But I like the Broncos. They have a good team. It's just so hard to bet against the Ravens. Are the Ravens good, or are the Chiefs not that good? Lamar was able to outduel with the things that he can do against Pat Mahomes. This Ravens team is 2-1 for a reason. Now, I picked them to lose the game that they lost. The Raiders have looked good. The Ravens were beat up. The Ravens are now starting to get accustomed to those guys not being there. They're starting to catch a rhythm with the guys that they do have. So I have the Ravens winning. Obviously, I have them covering if I have them winning because they were getting +1 when I had it. Right now, they're even. It's a pick 'em. So I got the Ravens in this.
I got the Broncos.
All right.
Yep, I got to roll with my boy Teddy. I've got Tim Patrick, who has been a little bit more under the radar as a really good receiving option for them since Jerry Jeudy went out. And even before Jerry Jeudy went out, I got Tim Patrick looking good. Look, it's in Mile High. The defense for the Broncos is very good. Their secondary is elite. And so whatever passing that Lamar Jackson can do is going to be thwarted a little bit. It's going to come down to, can the Denver Broncos defense contain Lamar Jackson? Denver's Broncos defense is better at that than the Chiefs, in my opinion. And that's what killed the Chiefs, was that they couldn't hold back Lamar Jackson. I think the Denver defense can do that. I think they will do that. And then I think that the Broncos are able to just have a steady offensive game, and this will be telling that the Broncos, while playing a lot of bad teams, are actually pretty damn good.
Well, if they win this game, that puts them in a great position in that fucking AFC West.
Yep,
So,
absolutely. All right, moving on. Steelers and Packers at Lambeau Field.
I have the Packers. I have the Packers. I'm pretty sure you have the Packers, even though I know you hate them, because the Steelers are awful. Big Ben is washed. You sent me a video, and I could not stop laughing. Big Ben moved like a fucking tree. He took 3 steps and fell down.
Fell down. He was doing
There was nobody
a bootleg
there.
right rollout type thing, and he just tripped on his own fat fucking face.
I wanted to say the turf monster got him, but the turf monster didn't even reach out and grab him. That's just Big Ben being unathletic as fuck at this point.
So
in his career.
goddamn top heavy. He just tipped over. Yeah, look, Ben Roethlisberger, man, he should have retired, dude. He just looks awful. He is dunnage. All right. I do have the Packers winning this game. It is -6 to the Pack. But, oddly enough, the Steelers actually playing away games cover a lot, like by a high percentage over the past couple of years. I would like to say this game is going to be closer and that the Steelers could actually cover. But I mean, God, I just when Roethlisberger is your quarterback and he's playing as bad as he has been, it's tough. It's tough to say that. So
yeah, he's
probably
been
got the
awful.
Packers.
And so I'm gonna talk about this. Anybody who thought or said, and this happened a lot on Twitter, that Najee Harris was going to be a better back than Nick Chubb, you're out of your fucking mind. Najee Harris is very athletic. Doesn't have any vision. You know what makes not having any vision any way worse?
Not having a line.
Not having an offensive line who can block somebody for, I don't know, a half a goddamn second. It's so fucking bad. Like, that offense is atrocious. They have great weapons. Can't put it all together.
So not to jump away from this too hard, but we did already go over the Cardinals-Rams matchup. Facebook user, whoever you might be, feel free to add your name in. For some reason,
I don't know why we're not getting their names on the Facebook.
I'm assuming it's some sort of privacy settings based on that individual user, because some Facebook users are showing up. It just depends on how much privacy settings you have, probably. But Cardinals-Rams, we got the Rams winning this one, and it really
Rams
comes down
and covering for me.
Yeah, and can the Cardinals be contained? Can Kyler Murray be contained by that Rams defense? I think that they can, but if they can't contain Kyler, that's when the game gets a little bit more interesting.
Get rid of the ball, Ritter. Sorry, so, I got Cincinnati game up here right now.
I hear you. So Packers Steelers.
Packers, and it's not close because Big Ben is a 100% washed.
Yeah, I would like to hope that it's going to be close in that Steelers cover, but I'm not even going to go down that route. It's probably going to be Packers in this game.
Yeah.
All right. And then that takes us to our Sunday night game. They're calling it the Goat Bowl. Buccaneers and Patriots in Foxborough.
Why would you call it the Goat Bowl when only the GOAT plays on one team? Now, I get it. The GOAT used to play in New England. Do you know who fucking ain't there no more? Tom. Now, unless they're trying to say that Belichick is the GOAT and this is a competition between Belichick and Tom, maybe, but I don't see, like, obviously the NFL is going to pump this up. The greatest football player of all time is going back home to Foxborough, where he created his legacy, and he won 5 Super Bowls. It doesn't like this is not a game. The Bucs are going to smack the Patriots because Tom is a better quarterback than Mac Jones. The Patriots defense has not played as well as it should have. And it's And beyond that Patriots offense, we haven't seen a lot of changes in the things that they have done since Tom has left. So you know who's been in every fucking defensive meeting this week, more than likely, as the competitor he is?
Old TB.
Tom fucking old Tommy Foxborough, Tom Brady, has been in every defensive meeting. That defense is going to know exactly what the fuck that New England offense is doing. Play in and play out. This is a fucking blowout, and it's of epic proportion. Tom is going to show that Tom wasn't created by Belichick. He helped him progress, but all of the things that happened in Tom's career were not a product of Bill. They were a product of how good and how much Tom works at his craft.
Yeah, so the line is Bucks -7. These are two teams that are, at least so far this year and somewhat historically more so for the Patriots, they're slow going in the first half. It's not going to be like a big blowout in the first half, but the Bucks are going to pull away by the second half. Like you said, Tom Brady, the consummate professional that he is, he knows what Bill's scheme is. He knows what Belichick's scheme is, and he's going to utilize that to the best of his ability. He's going to give his team every advantage possible. So he's going to be letting the Buccaneers defense know this is what Bill does. This is how he runs it up. These are the different calls and stuff that you could be hearing, stuff like that. And he also is going to know how to attack that Belichick defense.
Yeah.
Now, on the opposite side of that, Belichick is going to know Brady's capabilities and his tendencies, but it's not really going to matter because you can only scheme so much against Brady. Arians has talked about how they've been practicing really damn good this week. It'll hurt if Gronk's not available. I don't remember if he's out or not.
Gronk has been ruled out, but they have plenty of guys at the tight end spot.
Yeah.
OJ Howard and Cameron Brate who can come in and fill in and do a pretty good work. Yes, Gronk is out there. My wife just found out Gronk's out this week, and she's not happy about it.
Oh. How's it going, Amber? But
she says hi, Evo.
Yeah, Buccaneers are going to win this one. I feel like this game is way more personal to Brady than it will be to Belichick. Tom wants to prove who he is, that he was the Patriots, not that the Patriots were a team with the greatest quarterback of all time. He wants to prove that and solidify his legacy. I mean, if we could say that anymore, it's already solid as fuck. But
yeah,
he wants this. This is a personal game for him.
It's very personal. I don't know if there's a guy. The only guy I can think of who is more spiteful, like just wants to beat the shit out of you more spitefully than Tom, would be Aaron Rodgers. That's the only guy I can think of who has a little bit more spite.
In the NFL,
Tom is very spiteful. You think he's an asshole? I get it, but
no. In the NFL.
In the NFL, yeah.
Because I think the next comparison is Jordan.
Okay, yeah. So, yeah,
MJ.
I could see. And now,
because MJ makes shit up.
The level of athlete is very different because Jordan, Tom, because Tom's not a great athlete, but the level of competitor, level of spite that those guys, like Tom, is unworldly. But Aaron also has that. That's why I love Aaron. I'm a huge fan of Aaron. I know you fucking hate him because he's in your division. If he's not in your division, you probably
I'll
love
bring
him.
this over next time, Mike.
Yeah. You probably love Aaron if he's not in your division and plays for the Packers because the way he
actually, I ordered this from Aaron Rodgers' personal website.
No,
he sells these.
That's what he's been doing to the Vikings for, I don't know, 15 years.
Not recently.
Nah. All right. Well, we got one more game, right? Before we talk about any more fisting of anybody?
Correct. Yeah, we got our Monday night game, Raiders and Chargers in Inglewood, California. This should be a good match.
Yeah.
All right, so Chargers are favored -3 currently. And while the Raiders have been good, they played good. They beat the Ravens. I'm still not really completely sold on them. I think the Chargers are a very good team. I love Justin Herbert. I think he should have been runner-up last year for offensive rookie of the year to Justin Jefferson, but that's because I'm biased, and he did have a very good year for a rookie quarterback. I think that Eckler and Herbert are able to kind of throttle a little bit, not throttle as in score wise. I think it'll be a closer score. I'm seeing this being like a 24-27 type of game, but I think the Chargers are going to squeak this one out.
I have the Chargers. Now, when I put my bet in, they were minus 3.5. I got the Chargers in this game. I've been very high.
Uh-oh.
I'm assuming you guys can hear the children screaming in the background.
Yep. They're enjoying Texas.
Yeah, we're enjoying Texas. I mean, it's a little warm, but the doggy wants to play. She wants to play with the doggy, and the doggy doesn't want to play with her.
It happens.
That will happen. So I got Chargers. I had them covering 3.5. I've been very high on the Raiders. I picked Raiders week 1 to beat the Ravens. That defense for the Raiders is very much improved. I am becoming a huge fan of old Max with 2 X's. I
loved Max coming out.
He is relentless at that end spot. But the Chargers showed me a little something last week by beating the Chiefs. Now, we've talked about the Chiefs potentially being overrated. You're big on the fact that they might be. I still think the Chiefs are the Chiefs. They're very good. But Justin Herbert is a baller. Justin Herbert did not back down in the face of adversity against Pat Mahomes, was able to come away with the win. I think the fact that this game is in LA makes a difference. Now, the Raiders are going to have a lot of fans there because this is the Chargers we're talking about. Chargers don't typically have a ton of fans. They don't travel well. And they're in fucking LA instead of San Diego, where they should be. The Raiders used to be in LA. They're in Oakland. It's going to be a weird atmosphere. There's going to be a lot of crowd noise on both sides because I would expect probably an even split fan base-wise. But I think the Chargers kind of come away with a win. I think Austin Eckler can be a huge factor in this game. Not necessarily running, but catching passes out of the backfield. I don't know if the Raiders have really the Raiders have not played a team that has that kind of weapon out of the backfield, have they?
I mean, unless you count Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson, not a running back, but
a guy who can catch it out of the backfield and do things from that spot in coverage.
Najee Harris, not seeing it so far with the Steelers and the Dolphins, but Myles Gaskin.
So I think that plays a big factor. I'll be interested to see how their defensive alignment changes for that threat. But I have the Chargers. I got them winning. I have them covering the 3.5. The new line that we got on. By the way, guys, if you have not been paying attention, we got the ticker on the bottom with the lines for each team. So you got Chargers -3 there. I got Chargers.
Yep, I got the Chargers as well. Like I said, I could see this being like a 27-24 game. So that line would kind of make sense. But it's Chargers for me on Monday night.
All right. And that takes care of the NFL, right?
Pretty much.
Fucking A. We were able to pull this off. We had one little glitch earlier.
You were being serious, huh?
I mean, is that? Oh no, I forgot. We got one game left.
Yeah, we got one game left to discuss, I suppose.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, it's not really that much of a discussion.
Yeah, there isn't going to be a whole lot of discussion. I think everyone can kind of see where this is going. We've got the Vikings and we've got the Browns. We've got this game in Minnesota. This is a big game because obviously Mike's a Cleveland fan and I'm a Vikings fan. All right. Now, I will be the first to say Cleveland is the better roster.
Mm-hmm.
They are. And as a Vikings fan, I am conditioned to think that we're going to lose. All right. But
welcome to the world of a Browns fan, baby.
I have the Vikings in this game all day. It is Cleveland -1 is the line right now. All right.
Very close. Closer than what it opened at.
Yeah, definitely.
Opened at 2.5, I want to say.
But, Browns have our old offensive coordinator / every other offensive position coach in
Yep.
Stefanski, who I love Stefanski. I like the Browns team a lot, but it doesn't matter this week. It doesn't matter. We are coming off a really good home win last week against a worse team than we were against Seattle. Possibly the worst team that we played this year, because I think Cincinnati is average. I think they're average, and we had a horrible game with the penalties and all that shit that I was talking about earlier. We went, blow for blow with the Cardinals, who I think are a good team, and lost because we had that last second field goal debacle, if you will. But should have won that game. The Vikings are 2 to 3 plays away from being 3-0 this year. And if they're 3-0, I think Kirk Cousins is in the MVP conversation. And that's kind of weird for me to say. It makes me feel like I'm
One more beer.
doing something kind of fucking funky there to say Kirk Cousins being in the MVP conversation, but statistically, he is doing awesome. In weeks 2 and 3, he has looked phenomenal. We go into this game last week without Dalvin Cook, one of the most dynamic running backs in the league, and Alexander Madison is able to come out and put up big numbers. And again, that's Seattle, who I think is the worst team that we've played this year, and their abysmal defense. But Alexander Madison is still able to look good.
Well, that's because the Seattle defense is really bad against that scheme.
Absolutely. So this is our toughest test by far this year, is the Browns. But it's not a must-win game for us. But the team, I feel like they can feel the momentum turning. They have all these close games in the beginning of the year where we should have won, and then we don't. I think the Vikings are a better team than 1 and 2. Their record doesn't show what they are. The Browns are a very good team, and like I said, it's going to be the toughest test for us this year. But I know I've got my Vikings all day.
I figured you did, and you make a lot of very good points. I like the fact that you get to put whatever you want. I like the fact that you get to put whatever you want on the screen right now because you are in control since I'm away. And I figured you were going to go Vikings. I mean, obviously, you got to pick your boys, right?
Oh, yeah.
But there are times where we bet with our heart and not with our head. Very much like I did with the Browns in week 1. I said the Browns would beat the Chiefs. We should have beat the Chiefs. Came out, played the Texans. Looked okay. Not great on defense until Tyrod went out. Cleveland Browns go out week 3. I mean, we were supposed to beat the shit out of them, and we did. 9 sacks. So we go from week 1, being up, playing good, tough loss. Week 2, didn't play great, able to come away with a win. Week 3, we find a way to dominate a game that we should have dominated. This is a progression. This shit ain't a sprint. It's a marathon. With 9 new starters on defense, it ain't happening in week 1. It ain't happening in week 2. It ain't happening in week 3. Week 4 is where we actually say who the fuck we are. And that Browns defense is going to come out and play very, very fucking good. Because you know what you're not going to be able to do is run the ball against the Browns.
We'll see.
You have a very good runner of the football. You don't have a great offensive line.
The offensive line actually
one of the best defensive teams in football on the defensive line is the Cleveland Browns. We have a stalwart as a bookend run stopper in Jadeveon Clowney. Myles Garrett is improving every week against the run. If you can't run the ball, you can't run play action. And if you don't run play action, I ain't scared of Kirk Cousins. Now, your receivers are very, very good. We are going to be down our rookie corner Newsome this week. Greedy Williams is making a comeback. Greedy Williams is a guy, second-round pick, our first pick in that draft. Wants to come out and play well, show that he is still a player in this league. We have fantastic safeties. Grant Delpit has come back and made a huge impact since he has got integrated into the game plan. And I thought it was really I'm a big Twitter guy. I don't like Facebook. I use Facebook because that's where most of these people get to see us, watch us. But I like Twitter. I love Twitter because you get to see shit just come in all the time. And I saw a lot of people, your people, Minnesota people, saying that all we have to do to beat the Browns is stop the run. Good fucking luck. Your defense ain't good enough to stop our run. If you slow our run down, we still get 150 yards. That's what. So to stop our run, you got to hold us under 100 and make Baker beat us. Okay, so your defense in the secondary is good enough to hold up against OBJ, our 3 tight ends, Kareem Hunt coming out of the backfield, Anthony Schwartz, a guy who none of your fucking secondary can run with. It's the Browns. The Browns are going to win this game. I'm not going to say we're going to beat the shit out of you. The line is close. -1 now. It was -2. We cover. We beat you by at least a field goal. I think we get you by a touchdown. And for all those Vikings fans who are probably tuning in because you love your boy, Evo, you cannot stop the run in Cleveland. There has not been a team since probably week 4 of the NFL last year who can stop Cleveland's run game. We have 2 of the 3 best running backs in the NFL by PFF. Yards per carry, unbelievable. Yards per touch, if we're talking about Kareem Hunt getting his catches, nobody's close. Touchdowns accounted for. Get the fuck out of here. The Cleveland Browns are not predicated on Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield can win us a game. I've seen him do it. But you're not stopping the run. There's no chance. And no fucking chance. Anybody on Twitter who said, oh, just stop the run. Ask any team that we played last year how easy it is to stop the running game of the Cleveland Browns. Nick Chubb ran for almost 10 yards a carry in the 4th quarter last year. You can't fucking stop it. It's the Browns, baby. It's the motherfucking Browns.
So I love it. Sleep on the Vikings.
Hey, I'm not sleeping. I said it would be relatively close. I
Sleep
said
on
we win by a field goal. I'm not saying we're going to blow you out.
it. I think
But your fans,
we'll hold you to
your
less.
people said all you have to do is stop our run. How easy do you think it's going to be to stop the running game of the Cleveland fucking Browns?
I think that we'll hold you to less than their 150-yard mark.
Really? You think that defensive line is good enough to clog those holes and your linebackers can fill good enough to hold us under 150?
I think we'll be able to do it.
I don't see it. Like I'm so confident. Can I have the hat? I'm so confident. I'm about to cowboy the fuck up again. You guys are not holding us under 150 yards. There's no way. There's no way you're holding us under 150 yards. I feel like this is where we need to make our first.
We'll see.
Our first co-host to co-host bet. I mean, we talk about betting a lot on this show.
Mm-hmm.
So we need to make a little wager. You got the Vikings. I got the Browns. Next podcast, we do the show in the other team's gear.
I mean, I don't have that much Vikings
Now,
gear just because I don't do it.
Trust me, I got plenty of brown shit for you to wear.
Okay. Yeah, that's no problem.
All right, so next podcast, loser has to wear the other team's gear.
Sure, absolutely.
All right.
I'll have to pull down the Everson Griffin jersey and have you wear that one.
Well, I mean, I love Everson. I like him on the wall. I'm actually very excited for the next podcast. I get to put something brand new up on that wall. Thank you very much, Caesar Sportsbook.
Oh, we got some more doodads and doohickeys for the next pod for sure.
Oh, we
Because
do.
I had a friend show up the other day, a little totem of the Cleveland Indians.
We
that
did. We got a
we'll have
little
him stopping
nice
off.
little statue.
Yeah.
We actually got a whole bunch of stuff coming.
It's coming from
I
your
don't know
mic.
what that was.
I muted your mic for a second there and it went away, but I don't know.
Muted again.
All right, so now that we can't hear Mike anymore, Vikings all day. He's drunk. He's in Texas. He's muted and he can't respond.
No, my random music just started playing. I put my headphone back in the charging case.
Mhm.
No, Browns are gonna win. I'm not gonna say we're gonna smack you because I trust.
I think this is going to either be a very close game down to the end, hard fought, or someone's going to get a big lead early, and that's going to end up making it a blowout.
See, I don't. You're calling a blowout.
No, not. It's going to be one or the other. Like
Blowout or a very close game.
I think so. I think that someone is going to have some game-turning moments in the beginning that are going to cause them to get a 2-touchdown lead or something like that, and then from there, the other team is just going to be working from that deficit and having difficulty making it back.
All right. Well, and these are two teams that run the ball very well. So I expect this to be a slow game. I expect it to be a low-scoring game based on what these teams like to do.
The over-under is 51.5.
That's really high, I think, right? I could see a 24-21 for 45.
I could see both of these teams going over 30.
Ooh, so you're thinking a shootout.
I'm thinking it could be a shootout. Because so far our offense has looked like, now that I know you said our line wasn't good, and I am scared saying it as well, but our line actually, according to PFF and other rating metrics, is actually top 10 in the league right now.
Well, I mean, they're not playing Darisaw. Your line has been so good, apparently, they're not playing Darisaw.
Yeah, and I'm fine with that for now. Rashad Hill is probably one of our weaker points on the offensive line at left tackle, but we have in the past 2 weeks shown a lot of good continuity. Darisaw, we don't know what we have in him yet because he has been working back from that core and that groin injury and the surgery and getting more surgery on it. He needs time to work into the role. I thought this could be a rough first season for Darisaw if he was sent out there to start right away. But by the end of the year, I fully expect him to be starting. But our offense, I think, can hang with any defense in the league right now. I think we can.
I think Kirk Cousins is playing better than what he is right now.
When it comes to the passing game, I think that with our receivers and these quick throws, that they are able to get a lot of yak. They are able to put up the points needed in order to hang with any team. It's can our defense stop another offense? That's been the weak point, especially the passing defense. We've done well against the run, and that's the way Zimmer prefers it, is we're going to stop the run to make you have to pass, and then our defensive backfield is what's going to have to shut you down. They've not been great. They've not been bad.
There ain't a guy in that secondary who can cover OBJ, though.
Well, Baker has to have time to throw to OBJ.
We're talking about the best offensive line in all of football.
Mm-hmm.
In the Cleveland Browns. Baker's going to have time. They did not have a great week last week. They gave up 4 or 5 sacks to that Chicago Bears.
Mm-hmm.
They are not fucking letting that shit happen again. Coach Bill
Maybe I hope
Callahan,
not.
Coach Bill Callahan, the guy that I have an immense amount of respect for, as somebody who coaches offensive line. I know I do. Thank you. I love offensive line play. He's the best offensive line coach in football. Hang on one second, okay? They're not going to let that shit happen again. That's absolutely not happening. Hey, you want to say hi to Evo?
But I will say, hey, how's it going?
Good.
You like
All right,
Texas?
you like Texas?
You like your dad's hat?
Damn straight. I look good. Okay, well, let's see who it
She's
is.
obviously drunk too.
No, it's the little one who likes to try to drink everybody's alcohol.
But look, Vikings defensive line is better than the Bears defensive line. If the Bears were able to get something done last week, for sure Zimmer's paying attention to it and he's going to implement that. Bill Callahan, I agree, best offensive line coach in the NFL, and you guys have one of the best offensive lines in the NFL. But at the end of the day, defense is going to get some pressure. They are going to get some pressure. And, we have a fantastic defensive line. We have a fantastic defensive line coach. And I think Zimmer's going to scheme some stuff up. We're going to see some Zimmer Hellfire defense this weekend. And he's going to be putting some pressure on Baker.
Hey,
Now,
bring me
if
the
Baker can
double
make
A.
those
Bring me
throws-
the double A gap and Odell on a slant. I'll take it.
Now, if Anthony Barr plays, which as of right now he's questionable, that's when the double A gap comes back with Kendricks and Barr.
You give me the double A gap with Odell on a slant, I'll take that matchup all day. There ain't a guy in your secondary who can cover him.
All right. Well, we are going to find out tomorrow, 10 a.m.
Sure
Arizona time, which means noon your time, correct?
Noon my time. I will be watching. I don't know what we're gonna watch yet. We might go out. We might come over here. We're still, when we make plans to go on vacation, we don't want to set too many things in stone because, well, our children a lot of times will kind of dictate on how big of assholes they're being what we're doing. Love my children, but they are very much like me where they can, have attitudes. So we're not sure what we're watching, but we are definitely watching. I cannot wait. We're gonna probably send out some at least some Instagrams, maybe some TikToks tonight from the game over at MetLife. Not MetLife. What the fuck's the name of that stadium? Globe Life Stadium for the Indians Rangers game. Very excited for that, man. Like I was when we were setting all this up, I was like, man, how's this live show gonna work? How are we going to be able to work all the tech? Were people going to watch? Were people going to interact? I mean, we had a ton of fucking interactions.
Yeah, absolutely, and it was awesome. I think the only thing that's like, it's nice that you left and we were able to utilize this new platform, this software to do this because this worked out great. The only thing that's sad about it is that I feel like you might have just planned this trip to get away. When our teams play each other, we could have been doing the live show in person, watching the game, getting some live reactions. And I think you might have just been a little scared.
Oh, I ain't scared. See now, so Evo's back in Arizona, gets to control all the little things you guys get to see. I damn sure ain't scared. I'm not gonna say we're gonna blow them out because as a Browns fan, you always hedge your bets. You always hedge your bets as a Browns fan. We're gonna win. We're gonna blow you out. Shit, you might even take us into overtime. Maybe. We'll see. I can't wait to fucking sit down at a bar or over here and have a drink. Yeah. I look good in this fucking cowboy hat, by the way. I am.
It doesn't look that bad. I think you should wear that to work.
Well, I would wear hats to work, but apparently they're not allowed, which is why I got this fucking sweet ass hair that everybody hates, which makes me like it even fucking more. The more people hate it, the more I'm gonna grow it out.
Gooby's thinking about going with the mullet, so.
Oh, dude, hey, if my wife would still bang me, I'd grow a mullet.
I thought they didn't have a choice in the matter.
Well, they
That's how
always
they
have
do
a
it down in
choice.
Texas. That's how they do it down in Texas.
They always got a choice. Now, I feel like I could convince her, but they always got a choice.
Oh, I like how the Southern drawl coming out now. You got
Yeah.
that Texas talk.
Hey, I just want to get a little Jerry Jones. I just want to get a little Jerry Jones up in there. All right, we're talking about Dallas Cowboys. All right, we're only going to win. I love McDonald's.
I like how in the Hard Knocks you see him eating McGriddles and he's just fucking dousing it with
Just
salt.
fucking so much salt. How is he not dead from a heart attack?
I can't imagine he's got a whole lot of time left. You can only throw so much money at your health before you're just gonna fucking die from your bad habits.
Well, tell that to LeBron.
True.
All right, man. Are we done? Are we wrapping this thing up?
Yeah, I think we're pretty close there.
All right. We got no games left. Tennessee's beating the fuck out of Missouri. Georgia, I'm pretty sure, is still beating the fuck out of Arkansas. I have not seen the Ohio State game yet, but I'm going to assume we're beating the fuck out of Rutgers, because if I don't assume that, I might have a little Jerry moment right here.
Let's see. Real quick update. It's 0-0, just starting the first versus Rutgers and Ohio State.
Okay, so game just started. Game just
Oklahoma
started.
and Kansas State, same thing. Oregon, Stanford, they just started 0-0. Ole Miss, Alabama, 0-0. Got that game's almost 5 minutes in. A lot of good games going on right now. And Cincinnati Bearcats up 10-0.
Yeah, fucking Notre Dame's overrated. I like Cincinnati. Rattler's a good quarterback. He needs a little bit of grooming, but the kid can ball.
Yep. Desmond Ritter
Missouri
is
fucking got their asses beat by Tennessee.
Ooh. Ritter's 6 for 15 for 40 yards and a touchdown right now. Not a great.
That ain't great. That ain't great.
But you know what? They're up 10-0, so at least they're doing something. He also has 3 carries for 17 yards.
Okay, so at least they're getting him running out of the pocket a little bit.
Yep. But all right, man. I hope the rest of your trip, the rest of your trip out there in Texas is good for you. I'm sorry it's going to be a shitty drive home after your loss tomorrow.
I can't wait to drive back, crack a beer. Definitely not open container. And enjoy the win. Getting ready to pick a jersey of one of the failed Cleveland quarterbacks for you to wear.
Mm-hmm. Hey, I'll wear it good. And we'll see if I'm too thick to fit or not.
Well, I mean, we are talking about the thickest podcast in the game when you're talking about the Lineman Lounge. Sleeves, optional. Apparently, the cowboy hat has to become a staple. Everybody seems to like it.
Yeah, I think it's a power move. Especially if you start talking a little bit more in that southern drawl.
Hey, you know what? When I get this
just walk into work with a little bit of brisket.
When I get this cowboy hat on and I get to talking about football, I just can't stop. Like, I can talk about the Browns all day. Ohio State, they gonna win. Cleveland Browns, they gonna win. Fucking Texas Cowboys, they fucking suck.
All right, man. Well, you have a good rest of your trip. Thank you to everybody for tuning in to the first Lineman Lounge live remote. Pumping out here on all these platforms. And remember, sleeves are optional. And Skull Vikings.
Yeah, Skull.
Yeah.
Shove that fist up your. I got nothing there.
It wouldn't fit. I've got that cherry
hey guys,
butt.
like Eva said, thank you very much. You guys fucking rock. Thank you for all the interactions during the show. Twitter, Facebook, the page and the group, TikTok, Instagram. More content coming out tonight when we're at the game. I love you all. Thank you so much for making this successful. Dude, I like this new little platform we got going.
I dig it.
All right, guys. We are out of here. Thank you very much. This is the Lineman Lounge coming to you from an annex of Hangar 6 and Texas. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Go Browns.
We're worldwide, baby. Lineman Lounge out. See ya.
See ya.